They represent the views, positions, or opinions expressed or implied of WGSO 990 AM or North Shore Radio, LLC. All right, New Orleans, welcome to the Jack Clegg Show. This is a Tuesday night edition, and you're listening to WGSO 990 AM. And if you're watching either on YouTube or X. Anyway, we've got so much to say tonight. I'll get right to it. There are various topics that have grown out of the topic of last week's show, last Thursday's show, which was no taxation without representation. And we all know what that was historically. We all had history classes. We all knew that this was the cry of the Americans having to pay taxes on things they had no choice over. And that was because the English Parliament, Americans didn't vote for them. And here we have the same situation today when taxes are being imposed and fees are being imposed and permits are being withheld by people that we don't vote for. These are the people in the federal agencies that currently the Supreme Court is going to render a decision which may change the landscape. And it may take some of the power away from these agencies and return it to our Congress people. And all of it, again, shouts for us to pay attention to the elections. Not only the presidential elections, but your elections in Congress. Pay attention to what your congressman or congresswoman does. Anyway, I'm not going to go any further on that. One of the things that came across when I was preparing for the show was the Heritage Foundation, which is a well-respected group here in America. Every year they come out with a survey and they rate all the countries in the world in terms of their free economies and whether the people in their countries have free access to business or whether they're being blocked and restricted in the business activities they can conduct. Okay, for years and years, decades, America was always in the top 5 with freedom. This year, for 2023, we dropped to 25th. The top 5 countries to live in, to have economic freedom. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to work for a company that is going to make money and it's going to treat its people right and so forth, here are the countries that are in the top 5. Singapore, Switzerland, Ireland, Taiwan, and Luxembourg. Now, they're all small countries. But they're also countries that have very little debt. They have budgets and they follow their budgets, and economically, their people either make money or they get out of the way. Okay, America is rated 25th, all right? We sit somewhere between the Czech Republic and Israel in terms of our economic freedoms. Okay, now, all of this may seem a little bit odd. One of the things, I read several articles to try to understand what the real problem is here. And I was most impressed with an article that said the biggest problem we have here in America that's causing the biggest blockage of business here in America is the war on energy. And you can't help but look at the war on energy as being part of the climate control movement. Let's just call it that. I think you all know what I feel about it. But the climate control movement has diverted us from, and I think it's a very simple analysis and it works. There are certain kinds of energies that work every day. day in and day out. Natural gas, oil, even coal, nuclear. They work every day. They work at night, they work in the morning, they work in the afternoon. It doesn't matter what the weather's like. We have changed to an energy system. We've watched it happen where we're going away from these reliable sources of energy in which we've spent decades of educating engineers, educating geologists, educating all of our brightest people to take this into account for businesses, for everything in our economy. But yet in the last few years, we say, no, mountain can't have those things. They're no good. They're going to hurt us. They're all bad. We've got to go to wind and solar, which are, according to the articles, the word they used was episodic. And I read that, episodic, what does that mean? I started thinking about it and read some more. What that means is on any given day, those sources of energy might not be there. On any given day, the wind might not blow. On any given day, well, we know 7 of those days, half the day is dark. Solar doesn't work. On some of the days, they're overcast, they're storms. Solar doesn't work as well. We don't have the sunlight as well. So why have we done this? And when we say no taxation without representation, we've had a government that has given subsidies to these companies to use wind and solar. They've gotten our tax dollars to do this. I don't remember my congressman, I don't remember anybody asking me about that. It was done. And now we see it was done unwisely. Okay. That's one of the topics tonight that we're going to talk about. Tonight, if you're watching the news, it's about 10 after 7 now, a little bit after that. The polls in Michigan have closed. The Michigan Democratic primary is today. And what I'm really curious, because when I get home and watch the news, but if there's any callers that call in today, and our call-in number is 504-556-9696, give me the talking heads assessment of the uncommitted. Okay, what do I mean by that? Okay, the Democratic primary only has Joe Biden. And there are a lot of people who are Democrats who are unhappy with Joe Biden. But the Democratic National Committee has decided, well, we're not going to have a primary. We're not going to have anybody running against our esteemed president. So what have states done? The Democrats in various states have done. They're saying, well, we're going to have a primary, and if we don't like what's going on, we're going to say uncommitted. Now, the question is, how many of those people will come out and vote uncommitted? Michigan is a very curious state because they have the largest percentage of Arab Americans. And Arab Americans right now are, and if you've been watching the news or reading any magazines, they're very upset with the Biden administration, and particularly because of the Palestinian-Israeli thing. So that's another topic. I'd like to know how the uncommitted votes and how many there are. Another topic we're going to have tonight is AURORA, Colorado. This small town, well, it's a suburb of Denver, really, is not going to have any more money to give to immigrants by April 1st. They run out of money. And the Democratic mayor is so upset with the federal government. He said, they caused the problem. They won't give us the money. More details on that as the show continues. We got to take a break. This is Jack Clegg on the Jack Clegg Show, Tuesday night edition. We'll be back in a moment.
When the time came, I knew I had to find a place where Mom would be safe and active while still feeling independent. A place that was close to all of us and everything she needed. Locally owned and operated in the heart of Gonzales, I found Francois Ben's Senior Living. They specialize in independent and assisted living and memory care.
Call 225-647-BEND for more information on our special pre-leasing offers.
Francois Ben's Senior Living. Experience life as it should be.
Hi, I'm William Wallace. You can hear me live on Tuesday nights at 5 o'clock here on WGSO, or see what I have to say on Facebook at William Wallace for America.
Hey, it's Kevin Carr with your personal sneak preview invitation to join me on Sunday evening from 8 to 9 for Fat Guys at the Movies. Each week, I give you my take on the newest movies and movie news, but in a fun way. Not like those stuffy movie review snobs who take themselves way too seriously. I tell you if the new movies rock or not. Yes, it's fun for all ages with Fat Guys at the Movies. I'll see you Sunday evening at 8 on WGSO 990 AM.
Ron Richardson is here to tell you that you should tune into my show, Conversations with Ron Richardson, every Saturday afternoon from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. right here on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com.
The fastest growing conservative talk show in the South is now on 5 days a week on WGSO 990.
That's right. American Ground Radio has moved from Saturdays to Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 p.m.
American Ground Radio is based out of Louisiana and is grounded in the ideas that founded our country.
American Ground Radio is a show for everyone who believes there is greatness within each of us.
So tune in Monday through Friday starting at 8 p.m.
on the community voice of the Crescent City, WGSO 990 AM.
Hey, this is Christian Garrick. I'm excited about my new show on WGSO 990 AM, Monday through Friday, noon to 2 p.m. There are a lot of things going on in this country and in this city that are concerning. I'm your voice. You might be afraid to speak out for fear of cancel culture or losing your job. The Christian Garrick Show on WGSO is your platform, noon to 2, weekdays, right here on 990 AM WGSO.
Boy, have we got a show for you this week. Ever wonder where all the great songs have gone? Well, we found them. Hey everyone, I'm Pat Matthews, your host of 70s Deja Vu. And once again, I'll be looking in the rearview mirror and I'll see you in the back seat. Join me for some great music, all selected to get you going on 70s Deja Vu. Sunday morning at 7 a.m. right here on 990 AM WGSO.
Join me, BJ Rust, every Saturday night for the Something to Say radio show on WGSO 990 AM and streaming live on WGSO.com.
All right, New Orleans, welcome back to the second segment of the Jack Clegg Show, the Tuesday night edition. And welcome to everyone out there, whether you listen to WGSO radio tonight, driving home from work, or watching on YouTube or X, watching the video podcast. Okay, we have a call already online, one of our regular callers, Matthew. How are you this evening?
I'm doing well, Jack, and you, sir?
I'm terrific. I'm very good. Although I usually take the streetcar all the way down. I live in Mid-City, and I take it up Canal to Corona West Street where the studio is. But the last several times I haven't done it because the streetcar's not working. They're doing road work.
Oh, I thought they were just had run out of streetcars because you keep taking them.
Well, what's wrong with having a streetcar collection? You got a problem with that, pal?
Well, I think personally in N scale it's fine. In HO scale, that's cool too if you live in a larger house. But the large size version, you need a lot of land for that.
Well, you can hide.
And then if you don't put it on proper tracks, the wheels sink into the mud. Eventually, the accumulators get dirty. You know, it's a big mess.
It is.
So
well, what can I do for you tonight, buddy? What can I do for you tonight?
Well, talk about something that's important, local issue.
Yes.
There was a sheriff's deputy who was overpowered by the prisoner she was transporting from the hospital back to the jail. He had somehow contrived to wind up with a a container of pepper spray in his surgical boot that they put on him at the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
Probably pilfered it from somebody.
Mm.
So he sprayed her after complaining the boot was a problem. She pulled over to take a look, and
Oh man.
he sprayed her. She ran away wisely,
Rubbing her eyes, no doubt.
rubbing her eyes and trying to clear her eyes enough to get off a couple of shots, which she did.
She shot at him. Oh my
Yes, she
gosh.
did.
Did she
He
hit
ran
any
off.
bystanders or houses or trees or anything?
No,
Okay, that's good.
which is a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And they captured him. It turned out he went for a couple of nights in a motel in New Orleans East. Don't know how he paid for that. A lot of unanswered questions. But a lot of people made and comment that this little woman transporting this giant hulk of a man
Mm-hmm.
was something that just couldn't be allowed. Well, Sheriff Lopinto took umbrage with that.
So this was
And
not
said that
Jefferson.
was the woman.
This was not Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office. This was Jefferson Parish.
Yes,
Okay.
I
Okay.
said that
okay.
was that. Those are the people showing up to do the work.
Okay.
It has openings if you're big, bulky, and all kinds of muscular to come on in and take the job as a jail deputy
Okay.
because you can't get enough people to fill those jobs.
Wow.
But it's an interesting discussion this morning about the proper role of women in our society, and our friend Rusty had argued that we should really emphasize the traditional roles that women have had. The nurturers, the people who raise the bear and raise the children of tomorrow.
Sure.
And I agree with that. But we got to get the women to agree with that. And that's an issue.
Yes, it is. It is. It is.
And then we have the idea that we have to get the men to find work that they can become single income earners of a household, which consists of another adult human and one or more children.
Sure. Well,
And
it seems to
our
me
society is not generating a bunch of those jobs.
Well, yes. And as you know, my preference is that the government stay away from everything. We don't want the government doing anything. However, this is one of those exceptional circumstances when it deals with one of the few roles the government has. We all, everyone, wants the government to keep us safe. The alternative, of course, is everyone.
I just
carries
want the
their own
government
weapon.
to leave me alone. I can take care of my own safety.
Well, you can and you can't. You can take care of your own safety, I'm sure, with individual people. But if we have a massive group of 30,000 coming across the border intending to do harm to people in a particular
Now, when has that ever happened?
we cannot expect individuals to form the militias that are necessary overnight to come back. So that's why we have the government. That's why we arm the National Guard. That's why we arm our military, because that is one of the functions of government.
Border of foreign countries safe.
Say that again. I missed you.
To send them overseas and keep the borders of foreign countries safe.
Well, that is what has happened over the last several years, and that is what is one of the reasons why President Biden is not leading in the polls. Now, everybody has their own reasons, but failure is not very attractive, and we have failed everywhere. And let me read you something. This is terrific.
Okay.
I get from friends of mine the solicitation letters from the Democratic Party when they're,
Oh, this ought to be interesting.
when they're asking for money. Of course. Okay.
Of course.
Here is one directly from Joe Biden. Friends, in just a moment, we're going to ask you to make your first online contribution to President Biden's reelection campaign. Please give us a chance to explain why this request, especially today, and this is dated today, is so important. Here is the truth, colon. In less than 48 hours, we closed the books on what could be the last FEC, that stands for Federal Election Commission,
Yes.
fundraising deadline before Donald Trump officially secures the Republican nomination. After this deadline, we're legally required to report not just how much money we've raised, but how many people have contributed will be public as well as the names of those people. Everyone will be watching. The press, the Trump campaign, and critical outside spending organizations ready with potential attack ads against President Biden. We need to send a message about the strength of our grassroots campaign, the kind of message that can alter the media coverage of this race and give us more momentum. Finally, but more important than that, reaching our goal is what we need to do in order to win. We already have ads running, and our opponents do as well. So we need to consistently hit our numbers, or we risk falling behind. And in a race as close as ours, that would be devastating. Okay. Not a single word about why I should give money to the Democrats because of what they've done or what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Just not a single peep. It's all about the money, and give it to us now, and we don't have to account for it.
Well, that would be a great that would be a great pitch to the people who despise Donald Trump.
Exactly.
With like a white hot fury that they will vote for Joe Biden again.
This is the democratic unity that President Biden has brought us. We got to take a break. Can you hold on? I want to ask you another question after the break.
Right. And I want to say one more thing before I.
We'll let you do that in 10 seconds.
Absolutely.
We'll be on a break. Folks, you're listening. Oh, doesn't matter. That's cool. That's cool.
Big Easy Pet Shop and Rescue is a nonprofit volunteer-run rescue. We provide adoption services and care for homeless animals across the New Orleans metro area. We also offer pet supplies and grooming services at our downtown and Marigny locations. The shops are located at 839 Spain Street and 513 Dumaine Street and are open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. weekdays and noon to 6 on Saturdays, noon to 5 on Sundays. We can be found on the web at BigEasyPetShop.com. Support local animals in need by shopping and adopting with Big Easy Animal Rescue.
I'm Ference Toth, host of the Your Personal Bank Show. I use common sense as an entrepreneur, financial literacy educator, and speaker to understand how current events affect our money, economy, and our freedom. Grow your money safely, reduce taxes, increase returns, and create positive arbitrage with Your Personal Bank. Tune in to the Your Personal Bank Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. or contact Ference at yourpersonalbank.com. The Your Personal Bank Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on WGSO 990 AM New Orleans.
Thank you for listening and participating in the Jack Clegg Show, Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Our audience and management have asked us to extend the show to Thursday nights at 7 p.m., and we will do that, at least until the 2024 election is over. We will continue to oppose the rich men north of Richmond who want to control what we think and control what we do.
After the storm is over, if you think you have wind damage or missing roofing, siding, and gutters, call VinylTech. They have a AAA rating with the BBB, so you know they can be trusted. VinylTech has been serving the New Orleans Metro for over 20 years. They are the local exterior specialist.
Hi, this is Shay Mulkey of VinylTech. Let us work with you to get your home looking brand new again. I guarantee you will be satisfied. Call me, Shay Mulkey, at VinylTech, 504-469-7590, and online at vinyltechnola.com.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Colleen Crane. Authorities have recaptured Leon Ruffin, the murder suspect who escaped custody by pepper spraying a Jefferson Parish sheriff's deputy while being transported back to jail from the hospital Sunday. Sheriff Joe Lopinto says Ruffin was found in a New Orleans East hotel.
So pretty much locked up in a hotel room, still in a jail cell. I don't think he had a really good time over the last 2 days, but it looks like he was there most of the time.
Ruffin was taken into custody and transported to the Orleans Parish Correctional Center. Louisiana saw a 10% decline in the number of highway deaths in 2023, according to the National Safety Council. There was a rise in fatal wrecks at the end of the pandemic, but Louisiana Highway Safety Commission spokesperson Mark Lambert says law enforcement agencies have brought back strategies that can reduce crashes, like drive sober or get pulled over.
Fewer fatalities overall, fewer injuries. We also had a significant decrease in the number of injuries, about 8,000 fewer injuries in 2023.
LRN.
Tiger fans, are you looking for the latest news on all things LSU? Then Tiger Rag Magazine is your go-to source. Whether you pick up the magazine or browse over to the website, Tiger Rag Magazine provides you with the most up-to-date information on all the sports, university, and recruiting news that matters to you. Find it at your local newsstand or online at tigerrag.com. Here we go! Let's face it, we all know that the recruiting scene at LSU can get a little wild. Don't fret. Now more than ever, Tiger Rag Magazine is staying ahead of the game when it comes to name, image, likeness regulations. Thanks to our Tiger Rag Magazine experts and analysts, we can help you understand what it means to LSU and how you can stay informed on this rapidly changing landscape. Plus, our website makes it easy for fans to get their hands on all the information they need about LSU athletics. Get your subscriptions today. So if you're looking for in-depth coverage of everything LSU, look no further than Tiger Rag Magazine. Available on newsstands or online, tigerrag.com.
Bring your business back to life with signs. Show-stopping signage can give your business the visibility it needs. Sir Speedy is a trusted resource for sign design, production, and installation. From trade show displays, banners and posters, to directional signs, window decals, wall graphics, and more, Sir Speedy's sign capabilities can help your business get noticed. Call us today at 504-586-9812. Sir Speedy, we do. Now is your chance to get rid of those old pants for good. WGSO supports the New Orleans homeless community through Grace at the Green Light. Grace needs to restock its free clothing closet for the unsheltered with new or gently used menswear. Donations accepted Tuesday and Saturday mornings, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. at 1526 Aretha Castle Haley Boulevard, or anytime at donate.graceatthegreenlight.org.
Hello, y'all. Let's talk daily from 4 to 5 about our town. The Simply Park Show is powered by Vinyltech, the Gulf Coast premier exterior home improvement expert.
Howdy, everybody. This is Jackie Gumbo, inviting you to join me each and every Sunday from 5 to 6 p.m. for Uncle Jackie's Gumbo. A little bit of this and a whole lot of that. Each and every Sunday from 5 to 6 p.m. only on WGSO 990 AM New Orleans or WGSO.com. Bring your gumbo, baby. We're going to have us a blast.
Got your license to grill? Call Chew on This Saturdays at noon on WGSO and tell us all about it. Don Clement and Patty B are waiting to hear your cooking secrets.
You might be afraid to speak out for fear of cancel culture or losing your job. Christian Garrick Show on WGSO is your platform. Noon to 2 weekdays right here on 990 AM WGSO.
All right, New Orleans, welcome back to the third segment of the Jack Clegg Show, Tuesday night edition on WGSO 990 AM and also on YouTube and X. Okay, Matthew, I want to make a couple of comments and then I want to hear the last thing you wanted to say. During the break, the news was on and they summarized what you had already given us and about this gentleman who used a pepper spray to escape the police. Okay, first question. All right, where did he get the pepper spray? Okay, if I'm a reporter and I'm talking to Lopinto or whomever, that's the first question. Was it the guards? Was it the police person's pepper spray? Don't know.
No, it was not her pepper spray.
Whose was it?
It apparently, and now I'm only surmising from the available information, he probably lifted it from somebody who works at the hospital.
You mean somebody in the hospital didn't give it to him? He had
Well,
access.
it's possible that somebody gave it to him.
To me, yes, someone brought it to him. He's under guard. He's not going to be walking from room to room looking for pepper spray or in the hallway. So that's one thing. And the second thing I would ask, and the most important thing, how did he spend 2 days in a hotel?
Yeah, that's a curious one to me. It's
that's the first question I'm going to ask. If I'm the reporter and Lupinto says, well, he spent a couple of days in a hotel in New Orleans East, I would say, did he steal the credit card of the guard? Did he take money from her? Did someone bring him? Because the hotel is going to know how he paid. And so is the police. They're going to know. They have to know this.
You would think.
Yeah, anyway.
Like I said, it's entirely possible he pilfered the pepper spray, but how do you pilfer a hotel room? I don't know.
Whatever. So unless they left him alone at the hospital to go from room to room taking money, I don't think that happened. Anyway, let's leave this story for another day. You did say you had more
facts will come out, and maybe we'll find out what's actually going on.
Sure.
So the last thing I wanted to say is one of the things that I tend to view as a successful civilization is one that has a desire to continue by reproducing.
Oh.
And so, of all the countries in the European Union, what is the one country that is growing in terms of native-born population?
Hungary?
You are correct. The next question. The next question. Of all 50 states in the United States, what is the one country that has a positive birth rate amongst the native-born population?
Which state of our 50 states has the...
Yes, not the 57 that Obama
believes. Let me guess. This is a guess. Alaska.
No, sir.
Okay. Which state is it?
South Dakota.
My brother lived in South Dakota. He speaks highly of it. And I have to admit, I have a crush on the governor of South Dakota.
Well, who would not?
She's the most gorgeous politician, and she makes sense and everything. Well, though Hungary has this tremendous birth rate, they also protect their border more than anybody in Europe. That's why.
And they only let people into the country who display a really honest desire to become Hungarian.
Right, and they and the Poles are the two countries that lead in accepting refugees from Ukraine.
Right, except the Poles, things will be changing in Poland because their last election had some weird stuff happen, and they wound up getting a globalist as their new prime minister or president. Anyway, people got tired of the Law and Justice Party. Apparently, they got bored, I guess. They wanted some cultural enrichment. I don't know.
You got it.
But we'll see how things change. They seem to be changing very slowly. It's entirely possible that they actually found a moderate progressive. Nah.
Good guess. Hey, thanks for calling in tonight. You always have
You're welcome. Say hello to Phil. Ciao.
Will do.
And
okay. All right. Now, we have another caller, one of our favorite callers to the Jack Clegg Show, Rusty from Jefferson. How are you, Rusty?
I'm pretty good, Jack. Matthew reflected on my comments to Jeff's show, and I'm going to tell you what I think is the biggest thing regarding this guy. That was
which guy?
The pepper spray guy, the prisoner.
The New Orleans motel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he could have had friends outside. You know, anybody could have paid for a hotel room. My concern is this: Jack, and nobody wants to talk about this because political correct mentality has made us all nuts. What is a small little woman doing, mobilizing, moving around a 270-pound man who I think it was, they say he was guilty of murder, or at least they
attempted murder or something like that. Yeah.
And so on. We're in a society today where we can't even reflect on the differences between men and women. And I don't say all women should be home, like Matthew says something like that. But what I do say is that there are differences between men and women. And I asked Jeff, and I said, I'd like to ask every man to say this, and hopefully one day women to say what I'm about to say right now. Men are stronger than women. And if you don't know that, then you're part of this whole LGBT stuff, all this transgendering. If you can't tell the difference between a man and a woman and why one has upper body strength, they can do stuff, why we went to the Super Bowl to see strong men play a game. We all go to see the stronger of the two genders do this stuff. There should be no denying of this. But yet, even when it comes to the police, though, we got them moving around, very strong, very big guys, and they're putting themselves in danger. They're putting the police in danger, and they're putting society in danger. And we don't want to reflect on that because we're pop culture crazy. Pop culture made us all think that we're not hip with every change that goes on, every trend. There's some kind of way we're not we're not developed or something.
Well, so I'm not going to disagree with the conclusion that you're making or the observation that you've made, and that is that there is a difference, and that difference can threaten people if it's not observed. And that is that if you have a 270-pound violent offender and you're taking him to a hospital, you should have the equal amount of force. And I don't know the size of the police officer. You say she was small. I don't know the facts, so I don't know, but I'm assuming you're right that she was small. Here's why we have a problem with this, in my opinion. Feminism has not only tried to exercise additional rights for women. We have the right to a career. We have the right to an education. We have a right to do all of these things. They have also said that men are toxic. Masculinity is toxic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so younger men who may be listening to their teachers doing this, or maybe listening to women who have bought hook, line, and sinker this idea that they're equal, and they certainly can shut men down. They can. And this happens all the time. Why do I say that? Well, because women don't get married anymore. Okay? The woman doesn't ask the man to get married, right?
Normally, no.
Ask the woman. So why are people not getting married? Because women are saying no. Okay? They don't want to have kids. They don't want to be a traditional wife. All the things that you mentioned. But to me, this is reflected in our business class, our educational academic class, and now it's in the government class. We got to take a break. Would you hold on, and we can continue this conversation in the fourth and final segment.
Yes.
Folks, you're listening to the Jack Clegg Show. This is WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com. Okay, take a break. We'll be back in a minute.
This is Kate Delaney from America Tonight. The show kicks on at midnight, and I'm loving the overwhelming support in New Orleans. What a group of fantastic listeners here on WGSO 990 AM. Join me every morning to catch up on what I call the buzz in your backyard and mine. You'll hear some of the most interesting people on the planet from the world of business, politics, sports, and, well, just intriguing people with a story to tell. If you're around, give us a call. Don't worry, I'll spit out the number plenty of times on the air. Let's agree to meet at midnight right here on WGSO 990 AM in New Orleans.
Big Easy Pet Shop and Rescue is a nonprofit volunteer-run rescue. We provide adoption services and care for homeless animals across the New Orleans metro area. We also offer pet supplies and grooming services at our downtown and Marigny locations. The shops are located at 839 Spain Street and 513 Dumaine Street and are open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. weekdays and noon to 6 on Saturdays, noon to 5 on Sundays. We can be found on the web at BigEasyPetShop.com. Support local animals in need by shopping and adopting with Big Easy Animal Rescue.
Hi, this is Kevin Carr, host of Fat Guys at the Movies. Listen every Sunday at 8 p.m. on WGSO 990 AM, the community voice of the Crescent City.
You might be afraid to speak out for fear of cancel culture or losing your job. Christian Garrick Show on WGSO is your platform. Noon to 2 weekdays right here on 990 AM WGSO.
Hello, this is David Jeremiah. Join me each weekday morning at 5:30 or 6:30 for Turning Point here on Talk Radio 990 AM.
New Orleans, are you ready to have a conversation? Well, if you are, Ron Richardson is here to tell you that you should tune into my show, Conversations with Ron Richardson, every Saturday afternoon from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. right here on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com, where we discuss mental health, disability, and everyday life. Tune in to Conversations with Ron Richardson every Saturday afternoon from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com. New Orleans, let's have a conversation.
WGSO 990 AM is the only locally owned and operated talk station in New Orleans. We feature 20 local hosts discussing a variety of topics. In an era when the daily newspaper is being discontinued and our competitors are out-of-state media conglomerates, we ask you, our listeners, to support local programming on a local station. To advertise or sponsor one of our great shows, contact me at jeff@WGSO.com or call 504-669-6076.
Do you have ghosts in your house? Well, I do. Hi, it's Bloody Mary, your local spirit guide, psychic medium, and celebrity ghost hunter. I run the Haunted Museum and Voodoo Spirit Shop in the French Quarter. Come do a ghost hunt with us and sharpen your communication skills with the other side. Don't be afraid. I'll teach you how to as we learn and go ghost hunting, join a Victorian seance, and explore the beyond. Did you know that you can even plan an entire haunted night at the museum for your private party, 7 days, 7 nights? Join us, BloodyMaryNewOrleans.com.
All right, New Orleans, welcome back to the fourth and final segment of Jack Clegg Show, the Tuesday night edition. Rusty, are you still there?
No, this is John.
Oh, okay. Rusty, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. We were talking about the issue, which is obvious to everyone, I think, and unless you are dishonest, that there are certain jobs and certain functions that are better performed by certain types of people than others. Okay, we go. They can have a basketball league, and they did when I was actually in high school. They had a 6 foot and under basketball league in the Catholic League in Chicago. Okay, but nobody went to the games. Okay, okay, you could do that. You could do that today. They could have a professional basketball league of everybody less than 5'9" or whatever, and it might be great, exciting basketball, but no one would watch. Okay, so we there are certain jobs and certain functions that are better suited to people with physical qualities different than others. Now, you're about my age. You're probably 10 years younger than I am. But what I remember in Chicago when I was growing up, they wanted to integrate the fire department, the police department, this, that, and they were integrate with women, with minorities. and they were constantly juggling with the requirements because of physical tests, certain people couldn't pass the tests. So what did they do? What did they do?
Lower the standards?
They lowered the standards, exactly. Somebody continuing to call me here. They lowered the standards. Now, did that make the service they provided any better?
I doubt it.
No, that wasn't the intention. They didn't lower the service to the standards. They just did it because their focus was on a political issue, not the function of the government. Fire department guys and police department guys, they provide a service that the government provides. How is it that the qualifications continually get less and less and less? And you and I are not saying that for certain jobs, we don't even need physical requirements. Okay, let's say you want to be a radio disc jockey like I am. There's no physical requirement here. Have at it.
And Jack, I'm not saying there shouldn't be any women policemen. I'm saying that when they're dealing with large men, and I've seen the film, LaPinto was showing me the film at 12 noon today, and the woman didn't seem too big. But when they moving around a man, he was attacking the public for saying there should have been 2 people with there. But I'm going to tell you what, even one big man can take on 2 women. We don't like to say it.
I know.
We're never stronger than women because we don't want to be considered out of time, out of not avant-garde, that is not with the times, and so on. And we don't want to say that. But the truth of the matter is that this guy could probably take on 4 or 5 women, and he might have been able to take 2. This guy was a large guy. And LaPinto was saying, well, you can come, like Matthew was saying, you can come and join the police force. I'm not putting him down for not having enough policemen. I'm putting him down for putting a much smaller woman, and I don't know there could be a big enough woman for this, in this case, moving this big man around. It's ridiculous. They're insulting our intelligence with this stuff.
And I want to know really, if and maybe next week, women can call in the show. Maybe we're missing something. Maybe we haven't thought of something, but I would love to hear it. So Thursday night, if there's anybody here that's upset because we're taking a position and we haven't thought it through enough, according to you, please call. Please enlighten us as to why you might be incorrect. Or are you simply stating that it must be politically correct at all times? All right. Rusty, thanks for calling in. We've got another call I got to get to. We'll talk to you Thursday night, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. John.
Hey, good afternoon, Captain Jack. Good evening, Captain Jack.
Yes, how are you this evening?
I'm doing super. I'm doing excellent.
What can I do for you tonight?
Okay, y'all talk about men are more powerful than women. I got an example. My sister Patricia, she's built. I mean, she's no fat on her, and she can whip a guy's butt. She fight like a man.
Okay.
I've seen it myself.
Okay. And that what I was trying to get across was that you don't make a rule for everybody. Like your sister. I'll ask you this, John. How many other women do you know? How many other women do you know that are as capable physically as your sister?
A good bit of them, trust me. And I mean, they're not overweight. They just built right. My sister is big bone.
And how many of them do you think would be able to stand toe to toe with a 270-pound aggressive male?
Her ex-husband is 300 pounds, and she put him on his back.
Okay, you're right. Do you think there are lots of women that could do that?
Not too many, but This one did. I mean, I'm not trying to make an excuse for anything.
Sure. Well, we're all, and again, I have not seen the photographs as when I'm taking the Matthew and Rusty's word that she was a small woman. Okay, so I think that the issue is, can women be policemen? Yes, they can.
Yes.
Can they be jailers? Yes, they can. But if you don't look at their size as a fact, like let's say she was 5'4", 130 pounds, and this gentleman was 6'3", 270 pounds. I think if you put that woman, no matter, I mean, she would have to have just incredible training to be able to protect herself from a guy that big. Do you agree?
I totally agree. I got another sister. Her name's Nally. She's a little small girl, but I tell you what, pound for pound, she can hang with Patricia. I mean, she'll get if you get out. They don't start fights, but she'll get in your face if you give her any problems, and she will not let go until she gets her point across.
Well, and that's actually, that is where equality is, okay? And a man or a woman to be able to stand toe to toe with someone without having to get physical is great. That's what we aspire to. But
I don't believe in.
You got bad guys out there, and you can't close your eyes to that fact. I'm not saying you are, but those people that make the decisions to send, and again, I'm just going to say, let's say she was a smaller woman, a petite woman, to
Nally is petite.
Yeah, to escort a 6'3", 270 pound guy, and not be concerned that something could happen. I think they're closing their eyes to reality. You follow where I'm going?
Oh yes.
So,
that's why they're armed with firepower.
And that's right. I don't know why she didn't use it. I don't know how the guy got the pepper spray and was able to spray her in a vehicle. I don't know enough of the facts, but I certainly think it's a topic worthy of discussion. Listen, we got to go. Thanks for calling, John. Thanks for calling in. All right, buddy. This is the Jack Clegg Show signing off for Tuesday night. We'll see you Thursday. Bye.
You'll never get a bum steer at Joey John Fro's Meats, 2324 Harris Road, Chalmette. An old-style butcher shop like Mom and them had. Also try Joey's Grill, using all fresh meats from the butcher set. Fourth-generation butchers from the ninth ward. You'll never get a bum steer at Joey John Fro's Meats, 2324 Paris Road, Chalmette, 504-279.